Jay, how are you? So, I figured that I would do this as a little surprise, okay? And let's get right into it. Spirit guides, angels, divine ancestors, please shine the light on what I need to see for Jay. When it comes to Jay, Spirit, please show me what I need to see when it comes to Jay. Spirit guides, angels, divine ancestors. All right. One more shuffle. This deck is pretty thick, so, and my nails are pretty long, so don't laugh at me. Okay, now I'll just separate the deck like this. Okay. 3 knocks. The first knock is to introduce myself. The second knock is to clear the deck. And then the third knock is to set the intention for the reading. Okay, I do that with all of my readings. All right, so Spirit, please show me when it comes to, and this is, I'm just going to give you like an overall from what I see, and then you can let me know later what resonates, what makes sense. Okay, Spirit, please show me who Jay is as a person. Who is Jay as a person? The Lovers, which came reversed. This is the Lovers card. I'll show you in the upright. When I say it comes out reversed, that means it came upside down. But I want to see one more card just to confirm. Tell me more, Spirit. Okay. So this is the Death card. I'll show it to you. Okay, this is the Death card. So you have 2 cards here, 2 major arcanas, which represent major, I would say, losses and also new beginnings. First card we're going to look at is this Lovers. Being it came reversed, it just shows that there's been a lot of heartbreak in your life. It's been a lot of, with past connections, just not being able to see eye to eye. You see how in the upright, these 2 characters, they are eye to eye. They are on the same accord. They have an understanding. They are aligned when it comes to their purpose. They're aligned spiritually, and they're aligned when it comes to love. They both are looking for the same things. These are 2 characters who, they want the same, they have the same values. So they share the same values and the same morals, when it comes to love. And I feel like being this came reversed, you have had your fair share of being in connections where you've had loss. You feel like you haven't won when it comes to love. You haven't met your person yet. And you feel sad about it. You feel sad about it. I'm getting a sadness, and I'm also getting like a weariness. You're also tired as well from not having success when it comes to love. Now, with this Death card, the Death is all about, believe it or not, it's about rebirth. So when we see the Death card, it isn't, a lot of people think automatically, oh, someone's going to die. No, it's not that. It's that at this point in your life, you're at a stage where you're letting your old ways fall away. And so you see how this character on the card, they have roots. There's roots. I don't know if you can see it coming out of their body, right? And they're in the fetal position. And I feel like right now you could be feeling like you're surrendering to a higher power. You could be surrendering just when it comes to love. You're not forcing anything. You're not going to push anything to go one way or the other, but you are vulnerable. You see how this character on the card, they're naked, and there's a tree growing out of them. So it's like you are in a phase right now where you're very vulnerable. You're willing to be vulnerable with a partner, and you're also in the stage of growing. You're in a growing phase right now, you know. And I just see too, if you look on the card, there's a sunset, or sun rising rather, in the background. So just like with death, if you think about death, it's a sun setting, right? There could be something that you have put to bed when it comes to just your own personal life. But at the same time that you are letting your old ways die, or something that you used to, that you were holding on to, could be old habits, it could be old patterns. Now you are in the phase of letting those things go so that you can have a whole new beginning for yourself. When things die, they're reborn again. When we die as humans, we come back, right? It's just in a different body, but our spirit comes back, right? And so I just feel like in a lot of ways you're in this metamorphosis right now in your life, where you are going through heavy changes, and whether you know it or not, you could let me know if it resonates. But I'm seeing, because death is nothing but another phase, right? And it's transformation. So you're going through transformation right now in your life, and that's who you are. And I feel like you are all about transformation and growth, and the question was who you are as a person. So like, you're about recreating yourself over and over again if need be. You're someone who's always like shedding old skin and creating like a new you, or a new outlook, or, you know, how could I put it? Put it this way. At this point, you're not someone, Spirit wants me to know, because I wanted to know. I'm asking the questions that I want to know as who you are. Spirit wants me to know that you're someone who is not afraid to start over, and also not afraid to grow and to change. Death is about change, and you're someone who's ever changed. You're a person who is ever changing, and that's important for me to know. Okay, even though, you know, you've had these, you know, bad luck, I see, and when it comes to love, you don't mind starting fresh and being vulnerable for new beginnings at this time. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, I got it. I got it. So, Spirit, please show me, who was this person, the last person that Jay dealt with? Who was this last person? Ace of Pentacles reversed. It was a missed opportunity. This person could have had, I'll show you in the upright. This came reversed, but this is the Ace of Pentacles. Aces and tarot represent new beginnings, and being it came reversed, it just shows that it came this way. So it shows that this was a missed opportunity when it comes to love. And you look at this person as someone who wasted your time, and I feel like you put a lot into them, and you felt like it was an opportunity that you should jump on in the beginning. You see how there's a hand coming out of the cloud. You could have even felt like this person was gifted to you by the divine. Like this was something that you looked at as a blessing, and an opportunity, a new opportunity at love. But it turned out to be a disappointment when it comes in reverse. Tell me more, Spirit, about who this was. Two of Swords reversed. They could have had air in their chart too. So we have swords, which represents air. Oh, I was going to tell you the pentacles. You see, this is a pentacle right here. So the pentacles represent earth energy. So your person, the past person, could have been Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. They could have also had air in their chart because you see these swords. Swords represent my element, which is air. So they could have been a Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius too. Okay, or had it somewhere in their chart. But this came reversed. This card right here, this card represents, you see how there's two swords and she's blindfolded. This person, you could have felt like this person didn't know what they wanted when they were with you. And because this card is all about not being able to make a decision, being in two minds. Like, yeah, okay, for example, they could have wanted you and you know, they wanted to keep you around, but at the same time, they could have been unsure if they were making the right decision. But I just see that this person, when it comes to their emotions, because you see all this water in the background, tarot, the water represents emotions. So this person, with their emotions, they didn't know. I feel like it was more they were stuck in their head. So therefore, they couldn't show you the emotion that you needed. You needed them to show more vulnerability, to be decisive, to show that they chose you, and this person didn't choose you. It came reversed. So it just shows that they were extremely stuck in their head, and they also were avoidant, because you see how this character has this blindfold on. This is someone who, for example, you could have got into it with them and they would say, oh, well, I didn't know that. I didn't know I said it like that. I didn't mean it like that. Or, oh, no, I didn't do that, you know, or I don't see what the big deal is. Like, they would deflect with you, and they would also avoid. They could, when you wanted to sit down and talk about an issue, maybe they would change the subject, or they would walk away, or they would start an argument, anything to get out of actually fixing the issue. They were avoidant, and they didn't want to see also the part that they played in the chaos that you guys had, or the conflict that you had. See how they have that blindfold on? They didn't want to see the part that they played in the ending, or creating the ending. And they didn't want to see how they were wronging you. You know, this is someone who just wouldn't accept, they wouldn't take accountability also. So whoever this was, maybe you had to damn near beg them, for example, to apologize, or get them to say, you know what, I did do that, you know, and I understand that it was wrong. They couldn't do that because they were too much in their head. You know, this is someone who just was avoidant. They didn't want to face, I feel like, themselves, and they also didn't want to face their issues, you know. What was the obstacle with Jay and this past person, Spirit? What was the obstacle with them? The Devil reversed. It was toxic. Okay, I'm going to show you in the upright. It came reversed. You see how a lot of cards are coming out reversed? Now, this is the Devil. Okay. This person could have had, they could have had attachments. Because you see how there's two characters. You could have maybe even thought that they had other people. This could be that they were lustful. They were talking to other people, and maybe you found out about it, or you had thoughts of them maybe going behind your back and dealing with other people. Or the Devil could also be addiction. So this is somebody who could have been addicted to gambling or sex, or being a liar, or drugs of some sort, drinking. It could be anything. But this person was very toxic. Or it just could be that they were, their past had them chained. You understand? So the things, they had baggage, whoever this was. And because they had that baggage, they brought that baggage with them. Because that baggage, you see how these characters are attached? That baggage was attached to them. to your person, and they brought that into your connection, and they weren't able to release that. They weren't able to, when they met with you, they still had that baggage. They hadn't dealt with their past issues, the toxicity that they had been carrying, so they carried that into what you guys had. Tell me more, Spirit. Yeah, so another issue, I asked what was the obstacle. 9 of Swords. So here we go. This is how this person had you, Jay. They had you losing sleep. Okay, you could have been up all night. You could have gotten insomnia dealing with this person and their bullshit. The swords represent what's going on in your mind. So whoever this female was, she put you up in your head. She made you confused. She really played a heavy toll on your mental. And I'm just getting that it became depressing for you. It became very dark. It affected you emotionally as well. And this is sorrow. I feel like you had a lot of sorrow when you were dealing with them. You felt weary. You felt tired, drained mentally, all in your mind. It was mostly mental stress that this person was putting on you. And I feel like you were at your wit's end, you know. In tarot, there's 10 swords in total. This is the 9 of Swords. So, you know, if you had one more, it would have just, I feel like you were just so close to being pushed over the edge when it comes to this person. So, you know, you couldn't take any more of what they were given. And so it was like, you felt like you had to do something. You had to get out of this before you lose your mind. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. Now, I'm just going to move the cards up so I can have space, because this little table is little. But this is my little table. Now, what does Jay want at this time in his life? What is Jay looking for? What is he looking for? The Hangman. You want peace. You want to feel free with someone and just in your life in general. You know, you see how she's in nature. You could love to be surrounded by the trees, the water, the flowers. You're really a carefree type of person. You know, you don't like a bunch of nonsense, stress. You want a life that is fulfilling, that you are happy in, where you can be emotionally vulnerable but feel safe at the same time. And you actually want to have someone who you can just be yourself with. No restraints, no limitations. Just someone who can even accept and be comfortable in the quiet. You want somebody you could chill with and not have to say a word to, and they're okay with that. You don't always have to be having a conversation. You could just be hanging around. You could just be chilling. You could just be, you know, as long as you're together. Or another interpretation of this card is the fact that you want to be able to have your own freedom. Have your freedom. Have freedom to be yourself and have your own time, your own free time, even if you're in a relationship, you know. And I feel like that's important to you. Favorite color could be yellow. Look at all the flowers, the yellow flowers. Tell me more, Spirit, on what he's looking for. Okay, so the Magician reversed. Well, you know, this is the Magician. You don't want to force anything at this time. You just want things to just naturally fall into place, is what I'm getting. And you're not gonna, I feel like you're not going to do any type of manipulation to make anyone fall for you or stay with you. You know, I'm getting the energy of either you take me as I am or not at all. Wow. Okay. How does Jay feel about me? How does Jay feel about me so far, Spirit? How does he feel about me? The Four of Pentacles. Okay. This is, I'll show you in the upright. This came reversed. Okay. Tell me more, Spirit. And the Eight of Wands. Well, you love to talk to me. You love... See, with the Eight of Wands, and I'll get to the other card, but this Eight of Wands is showing all those wands represent communication. And very quick, fast-moving communication. So you see me as someone that you want to continue to have communication with. You feel that our communication is really good. The texting, the calling, and you want to keep that going. You want to keep the momentum. And with this Four of Pentacles reversed, I feel like, because in the upright, I'll tell you, in tarot, when the cards come reversed, the meaning is usually the opposite of when it's in the upright. So that's why I also like to look at the card in the upright, just so I can get, more of an understanding. But I'm just getting that when it comes to the Four of Pentacles, you feel about me that you don't have to block yourself off. You feel like you can be vulnerable, you can open up, and it's safe to do so. Because this card usually represents blockage when it comes to the heart space, when it comes to love, and having to feel very protective of yourself. And I feel like when it comes to me, you feel like I'm someone who you will be just fine opening up with, and telling your darkest secrets to, and really expressing who you are unapologetically and being accepted. And that's how you feel about me. I like that. That's so sweet. Okay, what's Jay's intention, Spirit? What's Jay's intention? What is his intention? Wow, Ace of Swords. Now remember, the ace represents new beginnings, right? This came in the upright, so that's a beautiful sign. Your intention is to be honest, because the swords also represent honesty, clarity, and straightforward communication. Your intention is to keep the lines of communication open. Be honest with me, never hold back, never sugarcoat, never feed me bullshit, really. And also you want me to be clear. You want me to be clear on how you feel. You're not coming in this being guarded. You're not coming in this being phony. Okay? So it shows that your intention is to always communicate honestly. And on top of that, being that this is an ace, you definitely intend to start a new beginning with me. That's the intention. Tell me more, Spirit. Tell me more. Okay, Knight of Cups. Cups, I'll show you. This came reversed. The Knight of Cups, right? Look at all that yellow. Again, this is you. This is you. Okay. Cups represent the water energies. So, and the Knights always represent a person, an actual person. So this is definitely you with the cups, because that's Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer. So it just shows that, you want to come in and offer this. I feel like, being this came reversed though, it's like you want to come in with this love offer, but for right now, I feel like a part of you is still holding back. So you're not like 1,000% in, which is perfectly normal. But, you do want to make me an offer. You do want to continue to communicate with me and get to know me more. But as far as like claiming me right now and saying, okay, I love you, that you're not there yet. And that's okay. That's perfectly fine. But, I do see that your intention eventually is to come in with that love offer. You still need to continue like courting me. And that's where you are. That's where you are. You want to keep talking and keep dating and keep getting to know me, so that we can get to that point where this will be in the upright, where you'll be ready. You see how she has that cup in her hand? That cup is a love offer. It came reversed. So right now you're not ready to say to me, Nisha, I'm ready, let's be girlfriend, boyfriend right now. Let's do this. Let's be a couple. Let's make this official. You're not there. You're not there yet. And I don't blame you. This is the honest truth. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. This is what I see. And you can tell me if I'm right. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull one more. This is how you feel about me. That's your intentions. How do you see me? How do you see me? How does Jay see me, Spirit? How does Jay see me? As the Chariot reversed. Well, okay, this is the Chariot. Okay. And it came reversed. So what it means is that you see me as someone who's cautious. You see me as somebody who's reserved when it comes to connections and when it comes to love. So or you could feel that I'm somebody who I'm not just going to jump right in. And I'm going to take my time, and I'm going to, make sure that the person that I do choose is the right person before I commit. You know that I'm not going to rush this. And you're seeing me as someone who enjoys the getting to know stage. Okay, tell me more, Spirit, about how Jay sees me. Eight of Pentacles. This came reversed. So this is the Eight of Pentacles. And I feel like you could see me as not, it just confirms this card, not wanting to put the hard sweat and tears into this just yet. Like, I'm not there. And you see that and you understand that. I'm not ready to jump all in. I'm not. Okay? And that's how you see me. And guess what? The way you see me is actually the right way. All right, I'm going to put this deck up, and I'm going to just pull this deck now. And, well, actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. What I will do is I'll pull one more card from this deck, and then I'll wrap it up. Because my ass will get carried away. But, Spirit, what is the likely outcome when it comes to me and Jay? What's the likely outcome between us? Nine of Wands. Okay. That's a good sign. So the Nine of Wands is actually also called the Wounded Warrior. And this is someone who, you see how all of those wands, there's 8 wands in front of her. But then she's holding a wand, if you look. So what it means is that all of those wands are obstacles, okay? So we could have obstacles in our relationship or in our connection, but in the long run, we are going to both be willing to still fight for this, because that's what the Wounded Warrior does. The Wounded Warrior gets beat up in love, and tossed around, but still willing to put the work in to make things work. Okay? And it's because their intuition. So our intuition is going to lead us to make that decision, because you see how on all of these wands, there's at the tip, there's crystals, and the crystals in tarot crystals always represent for me intuition. And so I feel like both of us, because we're spiritually connected, and also the fact that these wands represent fire energy, which is passion, there's going to be passion between us, a lot of it, and also the spiritual connection that we have. So we have those things that will like keep us driven to keep the connection going. Okay, we asked what's the likely outcome. Both of us fighting to keep the flame lit. You understand? Because those wands all represent fire energy. So we both will have the drive and the want to really not give up on this. Tell me more, Spirit. Wow, the Sun reversed. But something may happen that, look, the Sun is usually, this is the happiest card in the deck, but it came reversed. So it just shows that there could be something that occurs. I don't know yet, and I actually don't want to know that one of us is going to be upset, or maybe the both of us. But the good thing is, even though it's going to upset us, what did Spirit say? That we're still going to be wanting to keep this going, because we have passion and we also have our intuition and our spirituality that keeps us linked and like connected. What kind of relationship now I have one question that I wanted to check, because remember what we talked about earlier. What kind of connection is this, Spirit, that me and Jay have? What kind of connection is this? It's a 10 of Pentacles. Wow. That is building a legacy. That is marriage. That is a family. You see, there's a family there. There's a home. So it looks like we could have been married in the past. I asked what kind of connection. It looks like it was one where we were married and we had, looks like 2 kids, a girl and a boy, and we had a home and we were happy. The 10 of Pentacles is having it all. It's having the dog, the house, the picket fence. It's leaving behind a legacy for your kids. It's, you know, being stable, having that foundation. And so the type of connection that this is, I feel like Spirit is also saying this is what we can have as well. And not only that, the money. When you have a 10 of Pentacles card, that means that your money is exactly where it needs to be. And being able to, yes, take care of your responsibilities, but also splurge, have the finer things, take those trips, live your best life, you and your family. So, yeah, this is the answer to the question. So we could have been, married soulmates from the past, okay? Or Spirit is saying that this is what the potential is if we continue to fight for the relationship and continue to keep the flame burning, okay? And don't quit when it gets hard. I just heard don't quit when it gets hard. And every day is not going to be happy. And every day is not going to be all this yellow, all this positivity and all this love and light. Every day is not going to be that, right? It's going to be some hard times. Spirit is saying keep fighting for the relationship if we really want it. And we'll have this 10 of Pentacles right here. Everything that we really, both of us, want and dream of. All right, so I'll wrap it up from there. And I hope you enjoyed it. Oh, you know what I'll do real quick? I'll just pull one more so you can see how do I feel about you. Because maybe you're wondering, hey, okay, she dug on me, but what about her? How do I feel about Jay, Spirit? How do I feel about Jay? Ace of Cups is how I feel. I feel like, and cups represent water energy, which is your element, okay, Scorpio. I feel like this connection, you see how there's a white dove right here, and those white doves are spiritual messengers. So how I feel about you is that God sent you my way. You see how there's a hand coming out of that cloud offering up this cup of love, of emotions, because the cups represent emotions in tarot, and this cup is overflowing. There's so much water in this cup that it's actually falling out. And so how I feel about you is that you're someone who's very loving, very caring, nurturing. You give so much of yourself to where it spills over. You're very giving, very generous with your heart, and a heart of gold. and also you're vulnerable with your emotions. You don't mind showing that side of yourself, and that's something that I really do love about you already. But this is, aces are new beginnings, so I feel like this is a new opportunity when it comes to love, which is 100% right. And you know, I have positive feelings about you. I feel like it's a spiritually directed and guided connection that we can have. Absolutely. My intuition is telling me that you're someone that I can build with. These lilies down here represent intuition too. And again, the spirituality aspect. So we do connect on that level. Tell me more, Spirit, about this Ace of Cups. Yeah, look, 10 of Swords, came reversed here. So this is the Ten of Swords. So it's just showing that I had a heartbreak in the past. I had an ending with someone else before you came in. And it was something that was painful. It left me in this fetal position. And, you know, I grieved it. And being that this came reversed, how I feel about you is you're somebody who will come in and pluck all 10 of those swords out of my back and basically offer me some healing energy and be the complete opposite of what I just came from or what I just experienced. You're a totally different person. And that is how I feel about you. That you're nothing like, it's like I just heard night and day. Like you're nothing like the person that I would previously dealt with. And wow, you see, I don't know if you can see it. This character even has the upper arm tats like I have. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? I literally have a sleeve on my arm and it starts at the top like her. But yeah, so there's a healing energy that I get from you. What will be one of our obstacles, Spirit? What will be the obstacle, one of our things that we need to work on between me and Jay? What's something that we're going to need to work on? King of Pentacles. Well, it could be that someone's going to be working too much, too concerned with the money. See how he's holding that coin? So someone is going to be too concerned with the money here. And it could trickle down to affecting the relationship because the relationship could suffer in some way, or I might feel neglected because you might start to focus or continue to focus more so on the finances and, you know, or it could be vice versa. You could feel that I'm focusing on money too much or on my businesses too much or on, you know, my career or what have you. And getting ahead. It's like this card is all about being overly focused on material things, material aspirations, and material gains, and that could be one of the issues here. Spirit is letting me know it could be both of us working too hard or focusing on getting ahead, and then the relationship suffers in some way. But yeah, I'm going to end it. I hope you liked it and you enjoyed. And anytime you want me to pull again, I will on us. But I will never pull unless you give me the okay. All right? Talk to you in a few. Later.